Good luck this season. Thanks for doing this. In addition to the action on the ice, Capital District Hockey Night in Boston players had the opportunity to meet and interact with coaches from many well-known New England prep schools who were there not only to scout the tournament, but also as part of the Hockey Night in Boston prep school fair that was held during the event. Schools such as Williston, Cushing Academy, Vermont Academy, Pomfret, Tilton, and Winchendon were all present, not only to scout, but as part of the fair. And Winchendon School head coach Brian Troy was nice enough to take a few minutes to discuss with us what players from our area who are interested in taking advantage of the prep school opportunity should expect in terms of the academic requirements, the academic expectations, what he expects of his players on the ice, the level of play, as well as what families should consider before actually making the decision to send their kids to a prep school. So we're very thankful now for the time that Coach Troy spent with us, and here's what he had to say when we spoke to him at the Hockey Night in Boston Prep School Fair. This is Scott Lowe here with the DMV Hockey Podcast. I'm at Hockey Night in Boston this week. We are at the school fair where there's a bunch of prep schools here for our kids to take a look at and meet the coaches and talk to them. I'm here with one of them, Brian Troy, the head coach at Winchendon Academy up in Massachusetts. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How's it going for you here this week? Hockey Night in Boston has been around for a long time, and it's a well-known event. First time in our area that we've had a team in a few years. So how's it going for you here this week?
It's been an amazing event. I can't thank these guys enough for putting this event on. I mean, as a player, as a coach, it's an extremely well-run event. I mean, been around for years, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
When you come to an event like this, you're looking for certain things on the ice and off the ice because you're not just a hockey team. It's a New England prep school. Tell me a little bit about the New England prep school experience and what you look for both on and off the ice from these kids.
So looking at the New England prep school and looking at some of these kids, first and foremost, we want good kids, right? So getting to meet these guys in the prep school fair is an amazing thing, and being able to simply get a read on who people are and whether or not they'll fit in with our kind of motto and mentorship at school, and it's an amazing thing. And then on the hockey side, being able to see some high-level hockey alongside of meeting some amazing people is a great thing.
What, on the ice, specifically in a short tournament like this, what catches your eye? What types of things make you circle a player's name and keep watching?
Sure. The first thing for me is hockey sense. Does he think the game? In situations like this, when guys have never played with one another, I mean, being able to read a play is something that's very apparent. And then also speed. How quickly they can move the puck, how quickly they can move the feet is definitely two things that are very high up on my list.
The prep school route has become more, seems to be the more interest in it in our area because kids, we have a couple pretty good AAA programs and they come up here to play a decent amount, but kids don't get the exposure down from, in the Maryland and DC area. And, maybe educationally, like you said, they don't even realize what these opportunities are. What does a kid that wants to play at a prep school, what should he expect? What type of player does he need to be? What's the level of play like?
So the level of play, I think the biggest difference from us and some of these AAA teams is that our level is very, very fast. It's very, very fast. You'd have extremely good head on your shoulders when it comes to the game. I think that, yes, we are a developing league, obviously, being able to make sure that we're getting these guys the touches that they need, but putting them in situations where they are going to succeed is something that I think we do a tremendous job of at every school. What they can expect from our leagues is very, very fast. I think that on the school side of things, we're not going to miss any school, so that's something that is another added bonus to getting into this high level of hockey.
What can a kid do to get to this level? What types of things can they work on? This is off season when a lot of kids are training and looking for instruction. What does a kid have to do to be able to play for you?
To be able to play for any of these leagues and any of these teams is, I think, first and foremost, getting into the gym and getting into shape. I think that's almost a lost art right now. But being able to get into the gym and
can't play games all the time.
Exactly, can't be playing games all the time, and getting into these certain small area games and skills skates and putting themselves in game-like situations in a smaller style setting. I know for us at the Winchendon School, being able to put each other into difficult but game-like situations in tight quarters, using the boards, using your body, being able to speed up the game in a tighter area is something that we practice day in and day out, and that's something that I think that a lot of guys these days are starting to figure out, is that they need to get into that mini game-like situation.
It's a different level of fitness. Our kids are in shape, but they don't necessarily realize what level of fitness they need to compete at this level. Academically, what what is the school like yours? What are they looking for? What are the requirements for a kid to come attend school there?
Sure, and we're pretty simple when it comes to that. We have a standard application. We accept all different applications. Like most of these schools here, good grades. But what we're really after is we're after good people. We're going to be living next to you. We're going to be going to school with you. We're going to be teaching you, coaching you. What we want is we want to look at you as a whole, where you need some support, where you need some push, but also at the same time, we just want good kids, right? And that's what the whole thing is about. Is we want to be around good people.
A lot of the kids that come to us are looking for the different pathways to college hockey. Tell me a little bit about the role that a prep school and you as a coach would play for someone who comes to play to you, to getting them, whether it's to a high-level junior first or right into college.
Sure, and I think that's situation by situation. I know over the last few years we've been fortunate enough to send a number of guys on Division I, and some of their paths are all different. And even into Division III, they're all different. We have some kids that have come in to do 1 year postgraduate with us that are going directly into college hockey, and they're going to be starting top 6 forward and a top 4D, and actually a goalie that's going to go in and start for his college team next year. It all kind of depends situation to situation, but the whole key is to figure out what the aspirations are of the player and the parents, and also what the realistic expectation should be, and having that open dialogue is huge. And then where you're best going to be fit, whether it's a junior league that's closer to home or further away, all depends on from family to family.
Last question for you. I appreciate the time.
Of course.
Brian Troy here from Winchendon School. Excuse me. The big question kids in our area, a lot of them think they have to leave, right? So my son played through 18U. He was adamant. He went to the same school for 14 years, wanted to graduate, played 2 years as junior and go to college. It worked out for him. That's one path. But a lot of kids come to us when they're 13, 14 and say, what about prep school? We want to go there. And I tell them, like you just said, it's a different situation for every family, financially, academically. You don't want to go away before you're ready. Just a little bit of advice for kids and families in our area trying to make that decision.
Absolutely, and I think that's an amazing answer that you gave them. Is it is different for everybody, whether you're ready to go at 14 or you're ready to go at 18. There's differences in every kid. I mean, on my team right now, I've got a player who's a 14-year-old freshman. I've also got a 20-year-old senior. So it all kind of depends. But I think that the biggest piece of advice that I can give any family is you got to get out and see these places, and you got to figure out what feels right. And when you know, you'll know.
Thanks, Coach. Really appreciate your time, and good luck this year, and hopefully we'll be sending some kids your way.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Again, we'd like to thank Winchendon School head coach Brian Troy for taking a few minutes to discuss the ins and outs of prep school as a possible route to higher level hockey for players from the DMV. And while we were at the fair, after we talked to Coach Troy, we were able to catch up with Hockey Night in Boston Capital District sophomore player Grady Winter from the TI Selects program to get his thoughts not only on the prep school fair but the Hockey Night in Boston experience as a whole. Here's Grady Winter. Scott Lowe for the DMV Hockey Podcast. I'm here with Grady Winter, an 04 birthday who plays for the TI Selects in the regular season. Grady, how's it going?
Good.
So we're here at Hockey Night in Boston, and you've played 3 games so far.
Yes.
You guys have been in every game. You've had a win, a couple losses. Everything's been close. How's the experience been for you so far?
It's been a lot of fun playing kids from all over, seeing different talents, seeing kids from all different teams. It's been fun.
So I know you were injured during tryouts. Is that correct? You couldn't make it. You got invited anyway. We knew who you were. Were you excited to be when you heard that you're going to play?
Yeah, when I found out, I was very excited. I didn't know what to expect, but so far it's been a lot of fun.
How has it been as far as like the speed and level of play? Were you nervous about that coming in?
A little bit, especially coming back from injury, but my teammates helped me out with that kind of stuff, and it's been a little faster, but there's time to adjust.
And how our coaches, Coach Urgo and Coach Hammock, they do a really good job. They put a lot of time into this. A lot of these showcases, coaches just kind of show up and just stand on the bench and do nothing. Those guys are really trying to help make it better. How's the experience been with those guys?
It's been great. It's been obvious they're trying to make us better outside of games at the hotels. They're talking to us about games. They've been showing us videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
What are we're here right now at the school fair. So at Hockey Night in Boston, they set up a fair where a lot of the prep schools come from the area. The New England prep schools come and talk to you guys. And There's a couple colleges here and some other programs. Just, what are your goals for the future with hockey? And tell me a little bit about some of the schools that you talked to here.
Well, a lot of these schools, it's good because they respect your goal, and personally, my goal to play college hockey, and they make it clear that that's their goal too, and help you get there.
What any of them in particular that you're interested in after talking to them today?
I'm very interested in Bush and Cushing Academy.
Cushing?
Yeah.
We have a couple players. So Bryce Montgomery went to Cushing this year.
Oh, really?
Bryce is going to play in the OHL with the London Knights.
Right?
Yeah, and then we had Ben Spire, who's a goalie from Ashburn who plays in our Sunday league that also went there. So good local connection. Is that, being from our area and coming up here and getting to compete against kids from around the country, what were you expecting, and, how have you guys done in your opinion so far?
I think we've adjusted well, especially not playing as a team for that long and playing kids that, play high levels. But yeah, we've adjusted, and we're starting to work together more as a team, off and on the ice, and it's been paying off.
What's been the best part so far of the experience for you?
Probably just meeting all these new kids, talking to new people, and being able to play.
As you go up the ladder, these might be kids that you might play with again in the future. I know you're with Mike Schrammick and Ed Slusher and Jason's program with TI Selects. Tell me a little bit about that group and what you're expecting for your fall season.
I'm very excited. I think we're going to get more exposure this year and play different and more teams from all over. And yeah, it's going to be fun.
What you mentioned that playing with kids from all around the area who are really good and interested in the same things as you has been one of the best parts of the experience. What happens now when you go back and you start playing against these guys? They're not teammates anymore. You're gonna give them chirp a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. It'll be fun. Talk to each other on the ice.
So you guys got at least another game. You got 2 more games left at least. Have you gotten more comfortable with each game, and what do you expect for the last 2 here?
Yeah, I think we know what to expect from this team. We've watched them play. Obviously, from our previous games, we know what to expect with the speed and the physicality, and I think we'll be ready.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking time. We'll be keeping track of this year, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Good job. That was Grady Winter, a member of the TI Selects program up in Harford County that's been started by Mike Schrammick and Ed and Jason Slusher, and they've just done a terrific job developing their players in just a few short years of existence with teams at the AA level, and they are planning on having, I believe, 15U, 16U, and 18U teams this year, definitely 15 and 18U, and a lot of their players were involved in Hockey Night in Boston, so we look forward to the TI Selects program continuing to grow and having a great year. That wraps up our week at Hockey Night in Boston. We're looking forward to bringing our major team back from July 24th to the 28th to Haverhill, Massachusetts for the Hockey Night in Boston Major Showcase. That team will be comprised of players who will be in 11th and 12th grade next fall, as well as players who are in their first year of post-grad status. Again, July 24th to 28th, we will be back up in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and we'll be live there as well, podcasting from that event with our major team as they look to duplicate or improve upon the efforts of our junior high and sophomore teams who did very well this past week in their first appearance back at Hockey Night in Boston in more than 10 years. Again, we would like to thank Winchendon School head coach Brian Troy for spending time with us, as well as all the good folks who put together the Hockey Night in Boston program. It's a long-standing traditional showcase, one of the most well attended by scouts, and one of the longest standing and one of the best high school and junior high showcases in the Northeast. Hockey Night in Boston, we are very happy at DMV Hockey and with the Capital District team program that's run by Ben Hammock to be back involved with the Hockey Night in Boston folks. Just a tremendous job at the tournament last week. A lot of moving parts there, a lot of games, and they stay on schedule throughout the week, and they keep the stats updated, they keep the standings updated, and just do a great job and and put on a great event. So again, we're excited to be part of it and thank them for all their hard work. And now we move on to our Sunday Elite Hockey League roundup from Week 7. After Week 7, all 4 of our teams are tied at 2-2. Go figure. The Grinders are at 2-2 and technically atop the standings with a goal differential for the season of +3. The Hosers That is Ben Hammock's team. The Grinders' general manager is Jim Candelina. The Hosers are also 2-2 with a -1 goal